And Prince Harry cut a lonely figure as he made yet another solo appearance on Monday, this time giggling away with female fans at the US military's Warrior Games in San Diego, while leaving Meghan behind in Montecito. So the privacy princess seems to finally be taking her title seriously this year as she abandoned Harry during his memoirs, media rounds, his High Court appearances and even his own father's coronation. Angela, this is going to be the first time that Harry has been banished from this event. That seems like quite a big deal. But do you get the sense that the King is still not taking a tough enough line?
Well, I think he has to tread very carefully. Firstly, for himself, because he is a monarch and he is a father, and it's very hard to take your love of a child, even if you feel that you absolutely hate what they're doing. But I think, and I actually hope, that he will take action now after the court case, because I was incandescent when I heard that Harry had said that the United Kingdom now, because of the press and because of the government, was on rock bottom. Yeah. I thought, how dare you say that about my country? And
it's the lowest of the low.
It is the lowest of the low.
It also shows that he doesn't give a damn about royal protocol. And also, can I just say, he doesn't give a damn about democracy, does he, Angela Levin? Because this is a man that doesn't believe in the First Amendment in the US, and he clearly doesn't believe in the British public's right to vote for a government.
He won't believe in anything Meghan tells him not to believe. I don't think we really know underneath there what he feels.
Well, he claims to be anti-Brexit now, though, doesn't he?
Well, he just keeps changing his mind because he's just following what he's told to do. But I think that King Charles has been able to hold the nastiness that his son has thrown at him because it's just him. You know, it's been awful for him about Camilla and his William and all those, but he's been able to hold it. But I'm sure that he won't allow Harry to carry on like that. On the country, you can't be part of the royal family and hate the country. You just can't. And I think that that's quite enough to remove any him on the line of succession. Just out.
Well, I
can't
think so.
have that. He's fifth. If, God forbid, something happens to him and there's William, he's too close, we have to get him off. It's a bit pointless taking away him, you know, the Duke of Sussex, because he'll still be Prince. You can't away Prince.
And
if he's Prince, and Meghan becomes Princess,
which
don't want that. Yes, but I think that he can't be in the line. He just can't be. I mean, it would... And I think even before it makes an effect on the King, that he has a son who has no manners whatsoever, who hates the country he's in and doesn't care a hoot about his father. No respect whatsoever.
Well, it's interesting. I was just looking at those pictures earlier of the coronation, and Charles and the royals apparently found it quite hilarious that Harry was banished to the third row, and actually the plume of Princess Anne's hat covered his face, and they found that very funny. And that is funny, because Harry would have felt furious about that, but it's still not enough, is it? It's quite a small fry punishment. I mean, actually, personally, I believe that they should have it all stripped, and also their children should have their titles stripped too, because it's a joke that they're raising two kids in California, bringing them up, by the way, to despise the royal family, yet they're still prince and princess.
Yes, I mean, they don't know them, they haven't been over here in things that they can remember. I know it's ludicrous that they've got royal names, but I think that the thing I really hate about it is that he's got no respect for anybody now. Except Meghan, and the rest of us, he doesn't care.
But what's going on there? But what's
the more Charles takes a step forward and says no, and the more William is upset, the harder he'll go, because he's in that room where he wants to make more... If they tell him off, he's going to be naughtier than ever. You know, it's like he was a schoolboy in Eton.
Well, he's still acting like a child, isn't he?
If you tell him not to do something, he does it more.
And it's everyone else's fault. It's the media's fault. It's the media's fault that he takes drugs. It's the media's fault that he cheated or on his girlfriends, was a playboy prince, whatever. I mean, you know.
He doesn't take any responsibility. He thinks it's for everybody else. We saw that in court. When call the journalists, get them to find out, and he's attacking them. Nonsense.
Angela, I just want to talk about the Meghan disappearing act, though.
Yes.
There's obviously something very strategic behind this.
Yes, she's good at that. She's
So
very,
what's going
very
on?
good at that. I think she's cutting the chain one by one, so it doesn't look too much in one go. I think she doesn't want to just send him the engagement, the wedding ring in an envelope like she did with her first husband. I think she's doing it slowly, and she's making him now impossible to live with. And I think that if it happens, she's got the mental health, she's got him talking about the killing 25 people in Afghanistan, and therefore it puts him very vulnerable for people to attack him. That's his own fault. The drugs he's taken, will she say he can't be in charge of the children because he's mentally disturbed? And she's got her mother now living with them. I don't know if it's all the time, but it's certainly a lot. And she can be a witness. And I'm terrified that that's what he's going to do, and she's going to do, and suddenly, boom, out. It will be a sudden thing, but he's in such a terrible state. He's so negative. He's going backwards. He's looking at things that 30 years ago. Of course it was awful about his mother, but you can't keep on and on and on and on and on. You have to move forward. Can't excuse it. And she's going forward with a new agent and golden dresses and all that. And she won't join in. She's not there to support him. And I think that is a big sign, because the things that he's gone through with the Queen's death and his grandfather's death and the coronation, all on his own. And he's got no one there to be with him.
Removing someone from the line of succession isn't just family drama. That's constitutional territory. Angela Levin is essentially arguing that Prince Harry's actions over the past few years, interviews, his memoir Spare, public criticism of the royal family, have reached a point where consequences should be considered. And in her view, one of those consequences could be removing him from the line of succession. But here's where we need to ground this in reality. That's not something King Charles can just decide on his own. The line of succession is governed by law, not personal preference. Any change like that would likely require parliamentary approval, which makes this far more complicated than the video might suggest. So right away, we're not talking about an immediate or simple action. We're talking about a theoretical, highly controversial scenario. Now, the argument behind Levin's position is rooted in something broader. She's saying that Prince Harry's continued criticism of the royal family is damaging the institution. There's been a steady stream of public commentary about life inside the monarchy. Because from Levin's perspective, the priority is clear. The monarchy comes first. Not personal relationships. Not family dynamics. The institution itself. And her concern seems to be that if there are no visible consequences for continued criticism, it could weaken the monarchy's authority over time. But that brings us to King Charles, because he's at the center of this. Charles is in a uniquely difficult position. He's not just the king, he's also Harry's father. And when Levin says he must tread carefully, that's what she's referring to. Now let's talk specifically about Prince Harry's position. Even after stepping back from royal duties, he still remains in the line of succession. But practically speaking, his position is already largely symbolic. The likelihood of Harry ever becoming king is extremely low. So the debate here isn't really about who will sit on the throne. It's about what his place in the institution represents. And that's where the emotional weight of this argument comes in. Because once you start making structural changes based on personal disputes, that opens the door to a whole new set of complications. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that videos like this often amplify strong opinions to drive discussion. Angela Levin is a known royal commentator, and she has been consistently critical of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. That doesn't automatically make her wrong, but it does mean her perspective comes with a clear point of view. And that tone, urgent, decisive, almost corrective, is designed to make it feel like something must be done immediately. But in reality, institutions like the monarchy move very slowly. They prioritize stability, continuity, long-term image, not sudden dramatic shifts. So when we hear a suggestion like remove Harry from the line of succession, we have to separate what's being proposed from what's actually likely to happen, because those are not the same thing. Now, stepping back, this whole discussion reflects something bigger. It's not just about Harry. It's about how the royal family handles internal criticism in a modern media environment. Because this is new territory. And that changes the pressure on the institution. It forces responses, even if those responses are subtle. So when Levin talks about a careful approach, that's probably the most realistic part of her argument. Not necessarily the removal itself, but the idea that every move now has to be calculated. So here's the bottom line. This video is presenting a strong claim. That Prince Harry's actions justify serious consequences. That King Charles needs to respond. And that one possible response, however extreme, is removing him from the line of succession. At the end of the day, the real challenge for King Charles isn't just deciding what to do about Prince Harry.